pay equality, behavioral and medical health, leadership positions, and political representation. Those are a few areas where men continue to outpace women. And according to a new report from the Women's Fund of Western Massachusetts, the gap is particularly wide in Hampden County. But why? I discussed that and more with Donna Haghighat, Women's Fund Chief Executive Officer.
I think the reason that gap is so wide is we have a variety of reasons. Educational outcomes, for sure. I think the other piece of that is that we have a lot of women of color living in Hampden County, and studies have shown, including this one, that they have different experiences in terms of employment, education, and all these things. And so I think we see that in this report, in these numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that, the pay equity specifically for women. It's a good news, bad news in this report, right? If we look historically, going back to 2007, women as an entire group were making about 76 cents to men's dollars. This report says women as a group this time around, about 80 cents.
Right.
However, when you look at women of color, a big difference there. Why do you think that is?
Again, I think that it has to do with the different lived experiences of these women and the implicit bias that they see when they are, looking for a job, getting a job offer, that sort of thing. And so also part of it is that women have not been socialized to negotiate for their salaries as well. So that's one thing that we do at the Women's Fund to combat this. We are partnering with the State Treasurer's Office and also the community colleges in this region, and we offer free salary negotiation workshops for women. And we particularly want these women of color to come because we want them to understand that this is not only for them, but it's for their families. When they maximize their paychecks, that means their family has more to resources.
Because we know studies have shown that women do not negotiate as often as men, nor do they negotiate as hard as men, and sometimes their negotiations, even when they are enacted, are not received well by people on the other end of that, right?
Right. And that's why it's so important with this workshop. It teaches the women who take the workshop even some role playing so that they get the experience of doing it without maybe coming across too strong, having research behind them to say, here's why I think I should be making X instead of what you offered, which is Y. So it really teaches women to have that knowledge, and that knowledge then gains them confidence in that process.
And I think some other things that research have shown us about women negotiating, the more often you do it, the better you get at it, the more likely you are to get yeses, but also the sooner you start that process in your career, the bigger impact on salary over time, right?
Absolutely. There was an AAUW study several years ago that showed women, because they don't negotiate, in particular their first job out of college, over the lifetime of their career, just that not negotiating that first job can end up being anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million left off of the table because didn't negotiate that first job. Because then what happens is often employers can even ask, and we're having a paycheck fairness here in Massachusetts, but many employers could ask, what is your last salary? And so let's say, Carrie, you had taken, you worked part-time last job because you had other obligations.
My baby was just born, which he was.
Exactly. So if you have to put down your salary, even though next time you're looking for a full-time job, they can say, well, if she took this, then I'll just, we can just offer her this.
They're looking at the raw number, and they're not looking at the circumstances behind that.
So that's how these types of things can compound. And I'm proud to say that my daughter just got her first job a couple of years ago, and I was able to coach her through negotiating a better package.
I love that. Mentoring women is huge, really, really important. So let's talk about some other things that the report looks at. We talked about pay equity, but also behavioral and medical health, leadership positions, and political representation, which here in Western Massachusetts, we've recently changed that narrative. We have several women. It's a record-breaking time for us here in Western Massachusetts in terms of representation on Beacon Hill. But that's not historically the case, right?
Right. That's not historically the case. This last election cycle was a new wave. We had 4 new women now representing us in Beacon Hill from Western Massachusetts. So I think we're seeing some of that wave from the 2016 election where women are saying, you know what, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. And we see that at the state level and sometimes even beyond. Tahira Amatal Wadud was running against Congressman Richie Neal, for instance. But what our report shows is actually the place for most growth is at the local level. Our report shows that it's only about 20% of local positions, so that's mayors, city councils, town councils, and so forth, are held by women. And so when we have a program called, we go by the acronym LIPI, Leadership Institute for Political and Public Impact, and we teach women, we give them the tools to be champions of their own community, and we're hoping that these demographics that they're seeing show them that they can make change right here in their own backyard.
Because something else we know about positions of leadership, you're more often to have them and hold them if you see others.
Exactly.
Whether that's women of color, women across the board.
Right.
If you see that face in that chair, you think, oh, this is something that I can do too. I can aspire to this as well.
It's the old adage, you can't be what you don't see.
Absolutely. Interesting too, the report that Women's Fund just released recently, this is not a new report. You have other data that you can compare to. So let's talk historically for a moment overall. Where are we in 2019 versus the last time that Women's Fund looked at these issues?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we have done one other study in 2013. Interestingly, that was only about women, not women and girls. So this is the first time that we're specifically also looking at girls. But with women from 2013 to now, a couple of things that stand out. And I must say, it's a little bit like mattress shopping, because not everything that was looked at last time is what we looked at this time. And I think that this time, the measures that we looked at are going to be sort of the standard for what we measure in the future. But certainly two things. One is that pay equity issue that you mentioned. We do see salaries getting slowly better, particularly for white women, as you mentioned, and also for Asian women. Then the other piece of it is also just the diversification of the other counties. Hampden County is still overwhelmingly the most diverse county, but we do see that Franklin County and Berkshire County are now ever so slightly more diverse as well. And then I think the other piece of it as well is educational attainment. We do see that women have, since 13 until now, we see more women seeking higher education and also graduating high school.
Why did Women's Fund this time around want to add girls to the mix?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons is we're paying a lot more attention to girls. We actually have a program called the Young Women's Initiative here in Springfield, and it's for girls and young women aged 14 to 24. And so between that and working with a lot of other girl funders in the area, we have realized that we need to be more intentional about looking at what's going on with girls and young women in all four counties. For instance, I think you probably saw in the report some pretty shocking things about sexually transmitted diseases and also mental health issues. And with our Young Women's Initiative, in the last 2 years that we've been we brought this program to this area, we've seen the young women have called out mental health in particular as an issue that they see as barriers to their success in Springfield. And so for the past 2 years, they've been able to pick an organization to give a grant to.
In terms of the community, if you could say one thing to the community about what we need to do globally here in Western Massachusetts to support women and girls more, what would you say?
I would say investing in women and girls. Nationally, you'll see only about 1.6% of dollars that people give away philanthropically are targeted to women and girls. So I would say if folks can actually target their giving to women and girls, that's going to make a difference. And why it matters is women and girls are great economic drivers. They invest in themselves, and you see that already in the educational statistics. Women are actually now more educated than men. But if we can figure out how to remove some of the barriers that they face to enjoying full employment and balancing life and having affordable daycare and different things like that, that's really going to propel our whole region.